Support for Pop of Culture comes from Stallings Wealth Management. Daniel Stallings, financial advisor. Securities and advisory services offered through Cetera Advisors, LLC. Member FINRA/SIPC, a broker/dealer, and registered investment advisor. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity.
This week on Pop of Culture, we cross blades. The show takes a trip to a local fencing club to see what the point is.
We'll also talk to a metal artist forging her own path.
If I have to make 3 of the same necklaces with different colored stones for Christmas for people, I get bored by the second one.
We'll go behind the song.
And we'll get frozen for this week's What Are You Working On?
Coming up.
Support for Pop of Culture comes from Stallings Wealth Management and from you. You may have heard about large gifts to NPR. Those donations are important, but they don't bring back the funding to IPR. Your support pays for the programs you rely on, especially local programs like this one, and the people like me who create them. Pop of Culture exists for you and because of you. Give today at indianapublicradio.org.
From IPR, this is Pop of Culture. I'm Michelle Kinsey.
And I'm Jen Blackmer. Later this hour, a metal worker who says she's never made the same thing twice. But first, on guard.
Earlier this week, Jen and I visited the new fencing club at Cornerstone Center for the Arts. We were handed blades and acted responsibly the entire time.
Did we?
Here's proof.
All right, let's get you guys some gear. So let's start off with chest protectors. So we've got women's chest protectors here. Basically just goes on like you can figure it out.
Yep. This is, imagine what the
plastic bra.
Yeah, what the 1950s version of the bullet bra would have been, maybe.
It looks like something Madonna would wear.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Oh, my, look at that.
We'll get you one of our light jackets, our white jackets that we use for our beginner classes. So if you stick your arms out, now that loop there, your foot's going to go through that loop.
Yeah.
And then you'll need a...
So just, that's like, that is, hello, that's getting friendly right down in my nethers.
Yeah.
Let's get in.
Each of these jackets has like a really awesome crest on the arm.
We've got our
Muncie
which is a
Fencing Club.
Muncie Fencing Club, and it's a cardinal with a,
holding a sword and a dagger.
I was going to say, sword and a dagger.
Yep. Next thing we'll have you get is a pair of gloves. And although this is a rapier and dagger class, as of right now, we're focusing on some single rapier techniques. So just the rapier alone. And that's partly because we have a tournament in Indianapolis coming up that's rapier only.
Oh,
at the Indianapolis
so
Club.
define rapier.
Rapier, I'll grab one and show you. So this is a single-handed sword.
Take us back to the beginning and when you were interested first in fencing, how you got started, how long you've been doing it, and teaching.
I got started in middle school doing Olympic saber.
Wow.
At the time, it was through a local YMCA program. When I went to college, I kind of set it down for a little bit. But then it wasn't until after COVID that I was, pandemic was over, looking for something to fill my time. And I said, let me see what my old club is up to. And so, of course, they're still doing the Indianapolis Fencing Club. They're still doing Olympic stuff. But at the time, they also had, and they still do, because I also teach there, I'm one of the instructors there, introductory classes to HEMA, Historical European Martial Arts. Mm-hmm. So I took a beginner rapier and dagger class. And when I had taken Olympic fencing, I think one of you asked, what do I do with this hand? I'd always wondered what you do with this hand. Does it just hang here? Does it go up in the air? Does it go behind me? Where does it go? And so someone put a dagger in that, and I was like, oh, that all makes sense. That all makes perfect sense to me. And so I fell in love with rapier and dagger. That was, 4 or 5 years ago. I have a friend, one of my sparring partners, who's friends with the director here of programming. And so he said, hey, you're looking for people to teach classes. I have someone who I think might know how to do that, because I actually live just outside of Muncie and in Selma. And so that's how we got connected with the program here. And we had an initial early grant to cover some of the the basic, the white jackets, the swords, and stuff like that. So we were able to get started. Once we had a couple of beginner classes, then we kind of had the momentum to say, okay, let's go for an intermediate class.
Wow.
Let's not just do this 8-week thing, but let's come back every week and have a club structure and all that kind of stuff. Get some heavier equipment, get some bigger, heavier swords, all that kind of stuff. And so we just kind of kept going from there.
So the interest in the club was from the jump. It sounds like as soon as you announced it was happening, you had people on board.
We filled up pretty quickly. What we teach here is, what we focus on is the Renaissance Spanish school of fencing. So beginning in the mid-1500s through the early 1600s, the Spanish developed a school called destreza, or the true skill, true art, or the true skill, the science of defense. So in the Spanish school, what you may have seen, at least in the Olympics, is they stand like this, and the sword is very relaxed, okay? What we're going to do instead in the Spanish school is we're going to stand in the right angle. So, one of the simplest things that we can do is we can displace the sword. I'm here. I'm going to step out and pick her sword up. And you don't have to give it away. Okay. So you're just going to hold it. I'm going to carry it. So I move it out of the way first, and then I can attack.
Got it.
Step to the left. Step towards them. And point the sword out as you do. All right, let's try it.
It's like
So they'll be
it's like a really scary, like,
they'll be your target.
3D movie.
So we're going to do a very simple exercise. Just that for right now. So we'll grab a partner.
The silent but deadly type, aren't you? I can tell you look very quiet. Because okay, ready? I'm just I feel like I can't be any softer. I know you do. I know you do, man. But it's just like the whole idea of it, that it is a sword.
See how
and
we
I'm freaking out.
defend ourselves against that. So Nick's going to do that to me.
Nick, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little exhausted.
Yeah, it's tiring when you first start out.
Yeah. So how long have you been fencing?
A little more than a year at this point.
Wow. Why did you decide to do this? What was it that drew you to the sport?
I'm a massive nerd, so getting to go play with swords sounded like a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. So when you had try to take yourself back to the first time that you put all the gear on and you did what we just did for Pop of Culture, how did you feel?
I was excited. I was a little worried because I'd never heard of Cornerstone doing anything like this. Yeah. So I was a little worried that it wasn't going to be like really like I'd get to use the swords. But then I was very happy. Even the first day we got to do a sparring with the swords, and that was a lot of fun.
Wow, he does jump right in, doesn't he? Do you feel like that's the best way, is just to overcome that fear of doing it?
A lot of what we do is kind of intuitive.
Ah.
Where to avoid getting hit, you put your sword here, and then that's what he teaches based on. So I like the faster approach.
How's it going, Jen?
It's going. I'm feeling powerful.
She's doing great.
So I step over, move my blade, and then I back up and fake him out and stab him right through the chest. Okay. I'm sorry, what's your name?
My name's Luke.
Luke.
And off. All right. We'll do a quick water break. Anybody needs it.
Where's the drinking fountain? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, good. You're sweaty too.
Are we done?
I was wondering if
Is it like I feel like I didn't realize that this was going to be as much of a workout as it is.
Yeah, right?
Because when you look at it, like when the instructor is moving around and he's like shifting his feet and his movements are really easy and the flow is great. Yes,
yeah.
and then just holding the sword and moving it around, you're like, oh yeah, I got this. But then
it looks effortless.
It does.
And then when you begin to do it yourself, you're like, wait. And I was.
And that's why it's hard, because we're not used to the movements.
Right.
So then we're working harder because we're not doing it right. Because we're learning, right?
Yeah,
so then
of
it shows
course.
like a lot of like extra steps and concentration, and our bodies are tensing up, and
But it's super
the whole
fun.
nine. It's so fun.
I was saying earlier that there's this sense of empowerment. Even when you don't know what you're doing, you're here, and and everybody is so nice.
Yes.
And I'm working with a guy named Luke who is just so encouraging.
Nick is delightful.
And every time I look in, I'm like looking, did I do it right? He's like, yeah, absolutely. And a couple of times I got him pretty good. So.
So we'll open up to open sparring.
So we've been working up to this.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I'll officiate a quick bout between you two. So.
This is not personal, Michelle Kinsey. It's not
Listen.
personal.
Listen, I love you.
Do ya?
Keep going down.
What's that?
Oh, what's that? You didn't hear me?
What's that? What's that?
So we're going to go to 5 points. So for you to get a point, you have to get the touch without the other person hitting you at the same time. If you both poke each other at the same time, it's called a double, and no one gets a point. Okay, so we're going to 5. All right, when I say fence is ready, fence, then you can fence until I say halt. Fence is ready, fence. Up, double. Both touch each other. No points awarded. Fence is ready. Fence. Up. I saw a good touch to the side over here. That one kind of glanced off over here. I'm going to give the point over here. Good touch to the side. A little bit of a miss over here. Okay, 1-0. Fence is ready. Fence.
So I'm going to put you on the spot, Nick. As a first timer tonight, never done this before. Let's say ranking 1 to 10, Nick. Where do I fall in my first attempt at fencing?
So I haven't seen a full beginner class in a while, but you did good. You were able to hold the sword the entire hour. You scored on me in sparring, which was good. Say at least a 7.
A 7? Nick, you are being too kind, but I love you for it. Nick,
I've seen a couple of beginner classes that were a little rough.
We got a touch. Good. I think you got a point, right? Okay.
She got points.
Okay, 3-0. We're almost there. Unless she searches back. There's always a possibility. Fence is ready. Fence.
it is so exciting. So how long do you, is this something that you think you're going to do for years to come?
Yeah, as long as I'm able to do this, I'm going to continue to do it.
Yep. 4-3, fence is ready. Fence. Get the fence. Oh, good. There's our point. 5-3. Bout. And then you salute with the swords. Salute with the swords. Bring them up and down. Oh. Very good. Very good.
That was awesome. I mean, we learned a lot in a very short period of time.
Yes, we did.
And then actually, for the most part, followed the rules.
And I knew what I was kind of doing,
Yes.
sort of, maybe. I mean, it was great.
I noticed because we were doing those invasive, I'm gonna bring you this way, but oh no, come back this way and get
Trying
you.
to fake,
Yes, the fake thing. Yep.
All right.
What she said. That's what it's all about.
There's a lot of fun to living fencing, but it is very much a sport rather than a historical practice.
Yeah, it's a welcoming space too. You've done a great job of bringing us in and making us feel very welcome.
And you guys did
And
an excellent
sweaty.
job.
Sweaty.
Excellent job.
Yeah, which
Good
is
form. Good form. Love to have you back. I mean, you're always welcome back. So,
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. This has been great. Who would have known in downtown Muncie, Cornerstone Center for the Arts, on the 3rd floor, there is fencing. That's just awesome. I just love it.
Registration for summer classes at Cornerstone in Muncie is open now at cornerstonearts.org. This is Pop of Culture. I'm Michelle Kinsey.
I'm Cari DuQuette.
And I'm Jen Blackmer. Most art can be scaled up or down. Think murals that cover the side of a building or a tiny doodle in a notebook. Our next artist has made sculptures the size of trees and pieces so small they can fit around your finger.
We are speaking with Tracy Davidson, an Indiana artist who works with metals. Tracy, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. Curious, how did you get started in metalwork?
Oh, well, I'm the first child that was wished a boy by my father, and I helped him with working on cars growing up and racing go-karts and all that. So I always liked the mechanical part of it. And in the 80s, I went to Pendleton and I took a couple jewelry classes there. Fell in love with that. But back then, and the younger folks are hard to explain this to, but there was no internet or cell phones, websites, stuff like that to order things, and you couldn't just go pick up jewelry tools and all off the shelf. So in 2008, I had a motorcycle accident on my way home from work, and a very old, mostly blind lady ran into the side of my motorcycle. So I had to do a quick side step and pick another occupation. And that's what I picked. So it's been a long journey since then.
Wow. Well, I'm so sorry to hear about your accident, but it has birthed quite a career for you, yes?
Yes, it has. I'm pretty happy doing what I'm doing. And I started the jewelry aspect of it for pain management. And
in what way?
Well, when you fiddle around with stuff that's you got to keep your attention to little tiny things, whether you're going to blow yourself up or cut your finger with a file, and it takes your brain somewhere else for a while. And the phantom pains and whatever from limb loss, they kind of go back to the back of your brain a little bit. And I've found out with some veterans, they found out the same thing. So I started doing that, and it just kind of took off from there. And then I never thought I'd teach anybody anything. And everybody kept going, where'd you learn how to do that? And I ended up started teaching too about 15 years ago. So
that's amazing. So what do you like to make? You make jewelry and sculptures as well?
Yeah, me and two of my older friends during COVID made an 18-foot steel tree sculpture with like 400 copper oak leaves on it. We call it a blacksmith sample fence across the front, and it's right between two buildings in downtown Pendleton next to the gallery. And I've donated a 5 by 5 foot gigantic rose bush that's all rusty, and it's next to the Historical Museum in Falls Park in Pendleton. And I've got 6-7 foot sunflowers around the county that people bought in and out in their yards. It's kind of fun to drive by and see my stuff. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
You say you started off with working on cars with your dad, and I'm wondering what's your favorite kind of metal to work with?
Oh, the only thing I don't like working with is stainless. People that don't work with metal don't understand it, but it's like crunchy and it's hard to anneal. And, it's got some things I'll work with, but primarily I work with mild steel, copper, sterling silver, fine silver, and some brass. I like them all. You can mix and match them or whatever you want.
I love your answer to that question was the one metal that you don't like is where you started. That says a lot. So what inspires your art? You talked a little bit about some natural, the rose bush that you created. What other kinds of things do you make?
I'm not into the characters out of scrap and stuff like that and little animals. I mean, I do make them, but just certain things. I don't know. Sometimes I just go through my scrap pile and lay stuff out on my shop floor, which is my attached garage. And everything kind of gets born from there. And with the jewelries, I start with stones. And occasionally I have custom projects. The scrap metal sculptures and all that are kind of hard though, because the junkyards where I get all these awesome parts at, they're just lousy people, they don't keep all the same stuff there all the time for me to go back and buy more. So,
So you can't fall in love with one particular thing.
No, I had a place in Anderson that wanted one of my dragons, a specific one I'd made. And the body itself, it's one of the undulating kind of Chinese style dragons, and was made out of Mitsubishi alternator parts. And that factory closed up, which is the reason I found them at the junkyard. So I couldn't make them one, unfortunately.
I guess that pushes you to new territory every time you make something.
Oh, absolutely. I call it art ADD. You're constantly wanting to try new things and learn new, techniques and tools. And of course, the art world is constantly, especially jewelry, coming up with new types of tools and chemicals and all kinds of different stuff. So you're never, ever get bored unless you start doing like production, which I don't like doing. If I have to make 3 of the same necklaces with different colored stones for Christmas for people, I get bored by the second one, but I get them done. And I'm just trying to add on, new steps to my skills. And the more you know, the easier it is to design crazy stuff. Because if you don't know many different procedures and techniques, you can't do that crazy stuff on top of it. Like, I don't know, I'm babbling.
No, you're not. The thing in your head or the thing you're drawing, right?
Yeah.
It's totally easier to do once you have another tool in your tool belt.
Yeah. Because when I first started, after my accident, when I got home, I couldn't make a whole lot. I designed some really neat looking stuff, I thought, but I'd get ready to go to make them and sit down and cut out parts. And I'm like, oh, crap, that's just going to melt. Okay, try something different. So.
I can understand. I think you're not alone when you talk about not enjoying like production and making the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
You kind of express it, and then it's in the world, and then you want to make something else.
Yeah, and I really I love the idea of being able to go out and getting something bespoke that no one else has. When I do classes, most of the stones I buy are all hand cut. They're not calibrated, and they're all different kinds. So I've got a table full of different gemstones, and everybody. The subject of our class for that Sunday or whatever will be a picture of a ring or whatever I've made, but I don't want them to make that ring. I just want them to do the same procedures and come up with their own design. So a lot of my classes, it doesn't even look like they were all the same class, which is what I love, because then they've got their one of a kind, made by them, ring they can show off. So.
Yeah, you've given them like an inspiration point and tools, and then what comes from them comes from them.
Exactly.
I love that. Well, okay, so metal lasts a long time. Have you thought about it in terms of like your legacy in making?
Yeah, in a way, kind of, yeah, because my husband and I never had kids. He's the youngest of 11. Why would we want any more? So it's kind of, I think every human being wants to leave something of themselves behind. And mine's not going to be offspring that way. But I've got sculptures now that'll last for decades, out in the open. And it's kind of fun. We put little plaques on them to say who they were for and who made them and all. And I don't know. It's fun.
That's very cool. Well, now, is there some place that you named a couple of things we can see, but are there other places we can see your art in Pendleton and the surrounding area?
Well, inside the gallery, if I have a piece in a show, we have a new show every first Friday. Starts at 6:30. Our Pendleton Artist Society, we founded ourselves in 2013, and we've been going ever since. And we own our own building. We paid it off outright from doing volunteer work and sales and classes. And I'm really proud of our little thing because it doesn't happen very often like that. And but we'll have stuff there. And I'm trying to get ready. The farmers market that I'm in every year starts the first Saturday in May.
Oh,
and
great.
I'm not ready, but I'll be there.
Will you be ready by then?
No, but I'll be getting ready all day long while I'm selling stuff. So,
hey, that totally works.
Yeah. But most of the time it's on the internet. I had a website and everything for a long time, but I was paying a lot of money and spending a lot of time posting stuff and having it hosted. And then selling something at farmer's market on Friday and forgetting to take out of the website before it gets sold on the website. So I quit that. So
That's
they can
all
either
right.
call me and come over and look, or they can come to the farmer's market all the way till October. And then there's a heritage fair in Pendleton, which is Friday and Saturday after Labor Day every year, and it's huge.
Tracy Davidson is a metal artist, and you can see her work around East Central Indiana and at Gallery 119 in Pendleton. I really have appreciated speaking with you.
Well, thank you.
You're listening to Pop of Culture, which is good because we have an intentional listening opportunity for you right now.
Every month during First Thursday in downtown Muncie, visitors can catch the Songwriter Sessions. It's a showcase of local talent where songwriters get to share the meaning behind their words.
We're going to bring you two artists now in a segment we call Story Behind the Song. This was recorded live exclusively for Pop of Culture earlier this year.
Okay, so I'm Laura Switzer. I'm from Terre Haute, Indiana. I've been writing since I was little, but I'm just now starting to get my name out there, share my music, so thank you guys for listening. This next song I'm about to play is actually the first song I released on everything, because I was able to record it at school before I graduated. So I wrote this song over the course of a couple years. After a pretty big breakup with somebody I thought I was going to be with for a very long time. And it's just about coming to terms with who you are after that relationship and rediscovering who you are. And I found out that when I was alone, I actually really kind of dig who I am. It's kind of cool. So that's what this song is about. Thank you. I forgot who I was, looking through your lens, lying in a pile of dust. Woke up in a kingdom I rule all on my own, built upon dreams and hope, glittering rays of constant sun. Maybe I don't need the one, I can do it all on my own. Rekindling the girl I know, despite the journey and the mess. All I did was my best. It's never entirely perfect, but it's entirely worth it. I'm a jewel-toned kind of girl, heart of gold and head full of curls. Phoebe Buffet's my muse, a sitcom fairy queen. I have a friend crush on you, a wilting flower that somehow grows. Even through dark I glow, manifestations in my sleep. All I ever really needed was me, despite the journey and the mess. All I did was my best. It's never entirely perfect, but it's entirely worth it. Despite the pain and all the guilt, I'm still that girl under my quilt. I think that she would be proud of the path that I pave now. Forget it, I'll hold me. I'll be my own trophy. I don't need anyone to tell me how I shine. I've brushed it all off then. No nails in my coffin. And if I ever slip up, I'll be fine. Despite the journey and the mess, all I did was my best. It's never entirely perfect, but it's entirely worth it. Despite the pain and all the guilt, I'm still that girl under my quilt. I think that she would be proud of the path that I pave now. Entirely perfect. If I ever slip up, I'll be fine.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. Oh, y'all are sweet.
That was Laura Switzer with
you
her
guys so
original
much.
song, Entirely Perfect.
Okay, so my name's Cari Cambridge. I'm from Alexandria, and this is my newest song. It's inspired by going through the same thing many times and just saying, what lesson am I not learning? Why do I have to keep facing this? And for me personally, that was cancer. My mom passed away when she was 47 from cancer, and then my daughter was born with cancer, and then my father just died on Father's Day this year of cancer. So when he was diagnosed, I said, what's the lesson I'm not learning? But it's also more of that, because being a cancer mom, a term I never wanted to say, let alone be, everyone's like, you're my hero, you're so strong. And it just got to me some days where I'm like, I'm not. I want to be weak. And so I entitled this Nobody's Hero. So it just touches on both of those. It's just a day on the calendar. It's just a day I'd like to forget. It's just a day on the calendar. Oh, why does it bring so much pain with it? I never thought I'd be here again. I never thought I'd be here at all. How much can one heart take? How much can one heart break? What's the lesson I'm not learning? Why am I hurting, facing this burden again? Again, what's the lesson I'm not learning? Why am I hurting, facing this burden again? Again, no. I'm nobody's hero. I never claimed to be. I'm nobody's hero. Take that off of me. I'm nobody's hero. Are you listening? Oh, are you listening? persuasive. Yes, I was given more than I can handle. Yes, the door slammed shut and the window never opened. Yes, you say I'm strong. You couldn't be more wrong. I didn't have a choice. What's the lesson I'm not learning? Why am I hurting, facing this burden again? Again, what's the lesson I'm not learning? Why am I hurting, facing this burden again? Again, oh. I'm nobody's hero. I never claimed to be. I'm nobody's hero. Take that off of me. I'm nobody's hero. Are you listening? Are you listening? What can I do? What do you need? What do you need? What can I do? What can I do? What do you need? Let me be weak. Let me be weak. Let me fall at your feet. That's what I need. Let me be weak. It's just a day on the calendar. It's just a day I'd like to forget. Thank you.
You are now hearing another local artist, Foxxy, accompanied by Cari Cambridge.
I've traveled every road you could think of, but my mind's still not sure where to go. And I've tried everything to make up, to hide the bruises before they show. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna see the light of day. I know I get quiet, can't speak, I get scared, so I behind my hoodie, and I know you can't see what's going on with me. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna see the light of day. Some people, they don't recognize a broken smile. You keep picking up and going over. Don't be scared, darling. Don't you know it's all upon the show? these scars. I keep picking up back to where you are. I don't need no makeup for these scars. I just keep picking up back to where you are. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna see the light of day. Gonna see the light of day. Light of day. And I'm gonna be okay. No, I'm gonna see the light of day if I have it my way. Have it my way. Da 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 da
When did you write that?
I just made that up.
Right now? Okay. Did you catch that? That she wrote that right now? It was just off the cuff. And, before she started, she was like, I said, what are you doing? And she's like, I just wrote it. And I'm like, okay, I will follow you.
Foxxy and Cari, recorded live for Pop of Culture.
Story behind the song comes from Songwriter Sessions, created by The Fierce and produced by Josh Eisenhart. Full disclosure, I'm a member of The Fierce and the host of the sessions. This week for What Are You Working On?, our co-host Maya Doss sits down with an actor you might recognize from the stage.
My name is Maya Doss, and today on WAYWO, I am having Zeus Currie in the hot seat. Zeus is a musical theater enthusiast, actor, performer, singer, you name it, and he's a security guard. Zeus, how are you doing?
Howdy, everybody. How's it going? I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm happy to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Zeus, what are you working on?
I'm currently working on Frozen auditions. Just finished working on Groundhog Day with a wonderful cast and crew. Fantastic production. But yeah, I'm currently working on Frozen at Muncie Civic.
What part are you hoping for?
Kristoff. And then I'm also auditioning for Olaf and Oaken as well.
What do you like about certain characters when you aspire to play them?
I like the depth that certain characters go to, such as Judas, such as Shrek. I can identify with certain aspects of the roles, certain character traits that they share, of aspects of my life, like certain tragedies they may have gone through, certain thoughts that we might have had, like when I was Shrek, maybe when he was confused when Fiona was talking about herself and he thought it was directed towards him. He was dealing with self-doubt, something that we're all dealing with, in certain times of our lives, certain connection points in all characters.
So when you were working on Groundhog Day, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was Ralph, which was a very fun character. Ralph was one of the town drunks.
Oh.
And he was one of the characters that helped the lead realize that this is a repeating cycle and nobody really cares what you do really except for you. And I took that kind of role a little bit more literal than everybody else because I was one of the only one of the town drunks that kind of stayed throughout all of the scenes. And so in my repeating role, there was another character, Old Man Jensen, who I made a personal connection with. And so I would make this connection with Old Man Jensen constantly. And there's a scene when he dies. And in that death, I would make it known that I was the only one who recognized it because nobody else seemed to really notice him besides me and Phil. But I would make that constant change because my flask, something that I would use all the time as a constant prop in that scene, was empty, and so I make these like little small connections, through life, like missing people and what's this daily change? What's this daily difference? And the only difference you can make sometimes in life is in yourself, And we said backstage that every time Old Man Jensen would talk to Phil, he'd say, "Change, mister." And he was really he was really telling him to change.
I see. So Ralph had a story of getting sober through grief.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very impactful role that I think, like you were saying, you enjoy empathizing with the character and the way you relate it to yourself. Other people do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your favorite role to play?
Judas and Shrek, they share a very loving space in my heart. Judas was a dream role. First time I ever saw Jesus Christ Superstar. Carl Anderson I was like, man, I could only ever dream to be half as good as that man. Like, I aspired to do everything and anything as a quarter as good as he did. And Shrek was just like I'm 6'7" for people who don't know me. And if you see me, you'd be like, wow, he's huge.
Hence the security guard.
And so I really connected with like his instant, like, whoa, he's off-putting. And most people don't understand. Like, I'm really a nice guy. I do have layers, and they don't understand. I'm really a gentle giant, and
I can attest to this.
It was a role I could really understand and felt a true connection and vibe with, if you will.
What do you feel like you as an actor and a performer bring to this community theater that really gives how the way you empathize with these other performers, how do you feel like you are that in the community?
When I was a kid, I grew up seeing actors and performers that looked like me, and it made me feel like I could do those things too, And so representation is a very, very important thing for all people. Seeing that something as attainable in all aspects and cultures, I feel that it connects us all, especially in a world that feels so divided. We need to come together, especially in the arts,
Absolutely.
One of my favorite shows, One Piece, it truly teaches that in very real ways. And that's my favorite part about that show, the cultural diversity and even the inclusiveness as well. Because when a kid or even a teenager or even adult sees someone that looks like them on TV or even on the internet and sees that, they're like, man, I can do that one day. I can be like that person. And it's a huge impact on them. And it truly shows them more rather than tells them that I can be anything that I want to be,
You are such a positive role model at Civic. I know that you work with really everyone. You're super involved.
I try my best. I've been through a lot in my life, and it's very important to be very forward and making sure that people have a place where they can feel safe and they can be who they are.
I've always admired that about you, that you make everyone around you feel so safe. It's beautiful to see. I wanted to bring you on the show because I've witnessed your talent when I saw you in High Fidelity. That was a super fun role. How long have you been involved in musical theater?
So musical theater, my first show was actually Oklahoma in 6th grade.
I started in 6th grade too. I haven't done it since my senior year, but that's amazing.
So I hadn't done a show since my senior year either. And my first show was Shrek, and I was Shrek. So like, don't ever be discouraged to come back out and do anything, no matter where it is, no matter where life takes you. It's always, for me, very therapeutic to do a show. And I truly started on a stage when I was even younger. My grandmother has like a little fireplace. It's like my grandfather built this house for my grandmother. And it has this like little platform that we all used to perform on. And so whether it be me playing guitar, whether it be like coming up with jokes or like little stuff or like little skits with me and my cousins, I really like fell into it, One of my friends, Stephen Knipp, was really one who pushed me to be in Trek. And I'm very grateful for that. And because I found my home at Muncie Civic.
Well, I've really appreciated having you on the show today, Zeus.
Thank you for having me.
And I can't wait to see you in a future production at Muncie Civic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
It's time for the arts calendar, Jen.
Yay!
And we're off. Opening this weekend at the new Contemporary Art Museum of Indianapolis, or CAMI, is The Speedway's Attic by Will Higgins, which explores the lesser-known stories surrounding the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Drawing from newspaper archives, oral histories, and overlooked accounts, Higgins brings these stories to life through objects, photographs, illustration, and text. More info at camindy.org.
Great timing for that one, huh?
Right?
As we
I wonder if it was planned that way. The Youth Symphony Orchestra will have its spring concert at 3 p.m. Sunday, May 3rd at Sursa Performance Hall. This concert will feature the Suzuki class for 5 and 6-year-olds. It's adorable.
It really is. It's
the
adorable.
Prelude Orchestra, Overture Strings, the Intermezzo Orchestra, and the Youth Symphony Orchestra.
My kids used to participate in that, and I loved this concert
It is
every time.
Overwhelmingly cute.
It was great. Friday, May 1st is First Friday in Anderson. Check out all the new art downtown and meet A-Town guest artist Ray Parker. The new Artist Alley artwork will be unveiled at 5 p.m. Pendleton will also have a First Friday event on May 1st. The Pendleton Art Society will host exhibits at Gallery 119 and Gallery on Fall Creek from 6 to 8 p.m.
Lots of art. Night Fever, described as the most authentic tribute to the Bee Gees in the world, will perform at Richmond's Civic Hall Performing Arts Center at 7 p.m. Saturday, May 2nd. And Rumors, the ultimate Fleetwood Mac tribute show, will perform at 7:30 p.m. Saturday, May 2nd, at the Honeywell Center in Wabash. Two complete ends of the spectrum there. Kind of loving that.
I know, right? Yep. Orchestra Indiana and Marion Philharmonic Orchestra will perform together on May 9th at Taylor University in Upland. The concert, titled In Search of Destiny, will take the audience on a soul-stirring journey with music that weaves together visions of fate, hope, and human striving. The concert will feature guest artist Dr. Laura Lee Songer, an accomplished mezzo-soprano, conductor, and celebrated recitalist. OrchestraIndiana.com is the place to go for more info.
And you can go to indianapublicradio.org/contact, then click Pop of Culture to tell us about your upcoming arts and culture events.
Support for Pop of Culture comes from Stallings Wealth Management and from you. You may have heard about large gifts to NPR. Those donations are important, but they don't bring back the funding to IPR. Your support pays for the programs you rely on, especially local programs like this one, and the people, like me, who create them. Pop of Culture exists for you and because of you. Give today at indianapublicradio.org.
And that's our show. Our fact checker and ethics curator is Stephanie Weekman.
This week was produced by Luke Jones, who thought we were doing a completely different type of fencing, so his backyard is still wide open.
This week was produced by Luke Jones, who thought it was a different kind of fencing, and now the wall is covered with some really expensive art.
We had production assistance from Andrew Montavon.
Our audio fellow is Maya Doss. Our show is hosted by me, Jen Blackmer.
And me, Michelle Kinsey. Pop of Culture is a production from IPR on the campus of Ball State University.
Sorry, I'm going to say that again. We are speaking with Tracy Davidson, an Indiana artist who works with metals.
Was that you?
That was me. I'm so sorry. I turned it all the way off, but clearly it's not. Hold on. Sorry.
Well, I don't have to ask if this is live or not.
I guess we've proven that over and over again.